Hi friends, welcome back to Smart Engineering Academy. Myself Amit. So I am here with the continuation of reinforced cement concrete concept. So in the previous lecture series, that is the first part where I had explained the basic concepts with respect to reinforced cement concrete. In this lecture series, I am coming up with one important topic, that is limit state design fundamentals. Many of the questions for the for the competitive examination will come from this. So this is the main basic fundamentals with respect to the reinforced cement concrete. So this is the limit state design. Let us study some of the fundamentals with respect to limit state design. So after studying the fundamentals, let us move on to the design topic. Okay, these these fundamentals are very important for the objective point of view for the competitive examination. I'm going to highlight each and every topic with respect to this. Okay, so the first concept here is some of the assumptions that are made in the limit state method for the design in flexure. For the flexural design, we are going to do it for the beams. For that, we are going to assume with respect to limit state method, there are like 5 to 6 there are like 5 assumptions which is very much important that we need to know. So let me come to the first assumption. The first assumption says plane section normal to the axis of the member remains plane even after bending. That means it is very simple. If I draw a beam like this, okay, for this beam, whenever the load is applied upon this beam, of course due to flexure the bending takes place. Okay, the bending takes place in the downward direction. This is one thing. Second thing, they are telling plane section normal to the axis of the member remains plane after bending. That is very simple. If I draw a 3D diagram of this, so this is the section. Okay, this is the plane section. Even after bending of the beams, the every sections which is present here, okay, if you are going to draw the normal axis to this, okay, each and let me take this as a section 1, this part as a section 2, section 3, all this section remains plane after bending. The bending takes place only in the longitudinal side, whereas at the sections, you can see at the sections, even after the beam is going to bend, you are not supposed to see any bending in the sections. That is what the first assumption with respect to limit state method design in the flexure. Okay, so let me come to the second assumption. Tensile strength of the concrete is ignored. This is very simple assumption. That is because there are two things which comes into account in case of reinforced cement concrete, that is RCC. In case of RCC, one is reinforcement and other one is cement concrete. We know the reinforcement is provided because the reinforcement is strong in tension, weak in compression. In case of cement concrete is strong in compression, weak in tension. Is it fine? Since it is weak in tension, the tensile strength of the concrete is ignored. That is the second assumption. Okay, let me come to the third one. The maximum strain in the concrete at the outermost compression fiber is 0.0035. This is very important with respect to objective. I'll just take it as MCQ. Sometimes they will ask what is the, many of the times this question has been arrived. The maximum strain in the concrete at the outermost compression fiber is how much? That is 0.0035. That is how I am going to show it here. If I am drawing, I am going to draw one singly reinforced beam. Okay, let me write one neutral axis here. So this is the tension zone and this is the compression zone. Okay, whenever the beam, the bottommost, always it will be the tension zone. At the tension zone, we are going to provide the reinforcement, and the outermost compression fiber is compression zone. So if I am drawing a strain diagram for this, the strain diagram is going to come like this. Okay, see here they are telling the maximum strain in the concrete at the outermost compression fiber. So this is the compression zone and this is the outermost compression fiber. The maximum compressive stress at the extreme compression fiber is how much? It is 0.0035. Some more details about this I am going to explain the upcoming thing. The only thing that you need to remember with respect to this is 0.0035, and it is the most and more repeated MCQs with respect to examination. So that is the third assumption. Is it fine? So let me come to the fourth assumption, which is very important. The compressive stress strain curve may be assumed to be rectangular. See, I will draw it, but assumed to be rectangular, trapezoidal, parabola, and or any other shape which result in the prediction of strength in the substantial agreements with results in tests. The acceptable stress strain curve is rectangular, parabolic is shown aside. Okay, I am going to draw this. It comes in such a way that if I am going to draw the stress strain curve, yes, just a minute, yeah. The stress strain curve is going to come like this. Let me take this as stress, this as strain. Okay, so the graph will come in such a way that it will be parabolic up to here, then straight, again parabolic, straight, parabolic, straight. Okay, so if this is the strain, okay, according to this concept, what is the at the maximum at the extreme compression fiber, what is the maximum strain that is present here? That is 0.0035. At this point it is 0.0035, and at this point it is 0.002. That is what I am going to write. You can see the acceptable stress strain curve for the rectangular and parabola. You can see this is rectangular. Yeah, up to this point it is parabola, and you can see the rectangular pattern here. Is it fine? That is what they are telling. This is the first point. The compressive strength of the concrete in the structure is assumed to be 0.67 times the characteristic strength of the concrete. So what is the characteristic strength of the concrete? It is nothing but it is FCK, and we know the partial safety factor for concrete and steel. Partial safety factor for the concrete is 1.5 and for the steel is 1.15. These values I had already told you in the previous lecture series. For the strength, what we are going to do, we are going to, since strength is a lower bound theorem, FCK divided by 1.5, which is nothing but 0.67 FCK. Okay, the compressive strength of the concrete in the structure is assumed to be 0.67 times the characteristic strength of the concrete. Next, the partial strength of the concrete in addition to it, again one more time we are going to do, that is 0.67 FCK divided by 1.5, it comes to be 0.45 FCK. Okay, that is, therefore the design strength of the concrete is, it comes to be 0.45 FCK. That is, you need to remember with respect to this, because strength is a lower bound theorem. We cannot keep it strength, whatever the result values we obtained, we have to divide it by the partial safety factor, which is nothing but gamma F. So we are dividing it, in order to have a good safety condition, we are dividing it by 2 times. If you are dividing one time, you will get 0.67 FCK, and later the strength is found to be 0.45 FCK. This is what you need to remember with respect to objective point of view. So first one says, fifth one, the design stress in the reinforcement is derived from the stress strain curves given below. For mild steels and cold work deformed bars, the partial safety factors is 1.15. See, what is the partial safety factor for steel? It is 1.15. That is what they are telling. Applied in the strength of the reinforcement, therefore design strength of the reinforcement is 0.87 Fy. This is how I will tell you. I am going to draw one more graph where this is stress and this is strain. So here, if I am drawing the graph, it comes to be, it won't be parabola like the previous one, it comes to be like this. Okay, this is the stress strain curve for concrete. This is the stress strain curve for reinforcement. Okay, in case of stress strain curve for concrete, you will see one is parabolic and other one is rectangular. Here it is linear. Okay, so what is the tensile strength of the steel? That is Fy. Fy divided by 1.15, it will become 0.87 Fy. Okay, this is also very important with respect to objective point of view. I'll just make a revision. First assumption is plane section. Okay, any section if you are taking, the plane section remains normal even after bending also. The bending only takes place in the longitudinal direction, whereas at the cross sections you are not supposed to see any bending, so it remains it remains plane even after bending also. Second one is the extreme outermost compression fiber is 0.0035. Sorry, the tensile strength of the concrete is ignored. The maximum strain at the extreme compression fiber is 0.0035. The acceptable stress strain curve, this is a MCQ point you need to remember most of the time. The acceptable stress strain curve is rectangular and parabolic. Sometimes how they will ask is, in the examination, the maximum stress strain, maximum compressive stress strain curve, the acceptable stress strain curve for this is parabolic up to neutral axis and rectangular up to extreme fiber. They will ask like this. And remaining things, please go through all these assumptions. See, many of the times these types of things will asked in the MCQs directly. It is an analytical based questions. So after covering all these topics, I am going to analyze some of the MCQs. At that time I will again revise you. But these 5 things are very, very important. Sometimes they will directly ask 0.4. What is the design strength of the concrete? That is 0.45 kN. Design strength for the reinforcement, it is 0.87 Fy. These values are very, very important. So these are the assumptions which are made by the limit state method.